So today's video will explore the recent statement from Evernote CEO. This is going to give you a brief outline of what Evernote will be working on over the next couple of months, and I'll share my thoughts throughout this. So last week, the Evernote CEO Ian Small posted on their blog all about his priorities for Evernote over the next couple of months. Now, I picked out a few key statements that I'd like to share with you guys. So Ian mentions, I have spent the last 2 months learning about Evernote both from the inside out and the outside in. And another part of the statement also says, I'm becoming really clear on Evernote's strengths and weaknesses. I've also been reviewing the company's financial health, which I'm pleased to report is extremely sound. From the outside in, I've spent time listening to you, our customers, partners, and community, the people who know Evernote best. And I've spent time looking at the overall competitive landscape, understanding the category that Evernote created has continued to grow and is now shaped by many companies. But inventing the future requires being able to stand on a solid foundation. Now, just a note, these are a few clippings from the piece, so it's not the full piece. I do recommend reading the full piece. First things first, I do like the way that he started this. It's really respectful. It does understand that there are flaws with Evernote, and they definitely intend on changing them. And I 100% agree they need to work on the foundations, and it's something that Ian is definitely confident on doing. So let's dive into the next little bit. And honestly requires us to state straight out that we can do better with the product you have today than we are currently doing. In fact, we can do better than we have been doing for some years. Frankly, it's a bit disingenuous for me to try and get most dedicated users all fired up about inventing the future of Evernote when exactly those same people are the ones who know best that sync doesn't always work right, or that Evernote on Windows is a bit tired and is missing features that are found on the Mac version, or that each version of Evernote seems to be work slightly different and exhibits its own unique collection of bugs and undesirable behaviors, or that Evernote on mobile sometimes feels like a pared down version of the powerful desktop app instead of the mobile first view into a powerful cloud-enabled productivity environment. Because ultimately, by choosing to use Evernote, each of you gives us the privilege of serving you, of trying to make your life more focused, more organized, and more productive. In return, it's our responsibility and our duty to serve you well. Now, actually, when I read this, I actually felt that Evernote finally got it. They finally understood that they haven't quite hit the nail on the head. And these, I particularly like that Ian's highlighted some of the key features that have been annoying people, because it actually shows that he's aware of them. Because sometimes, for example, the fact that there are so many features sort of off with Evernote is not good, and actually highlighting them, not just saying all of our bugs. This is something that actually resonates with me, especially over the years I've been with Evernote. So now moving slightly onto the goals area, Ian highlights a few goals, and he says our goals are simple but meaningful. Number 1, we're going to create a more coherent, more consistent Evernote experience for every version of the product we ship. An experience that fixes the essential features on which all of us depend. Number 2, we're going to make a fundamental changes to how we develop and deliver software so that we can start to ship faster across all devices we support, and that all of us can experience the same Evernote regardless of which device we use to experience it. And number 3, and we're going to make improvements to the core infrastructure that sits behind the application you experience so that we can deliver an Evernote with speed, reliability, and scalability that all of us expect. He also finally mentions, despite those risks, I'm convinced that focusing on the basics is what we need to do first in order to best serve you, not just now, but years into the future. Now, one thing I want to say here is looking at the goal side of stuff. Number 1, I think that goal is orientated towards reconfiguring the plans. For example, what's included in them, what features are included in them, and how they intend to monetize in the future. I don't think we're definitely going to see a change in the Evernote Basic in the next couple of months, and how it is perceived by everyday users. Number 2, the goal too, I think, focuses on launching across the board. So actually shipping the same experience on all devices. So for example, Evernote Mac isn't going to look like Evernote. It is going to look like Evernote for iPhone or Evernote for Android. It's all going to be consistent, which I definitely think is needed. And finally, the third thing that I think he focuses on is debug security issues and the reliability of the service. I think people really want Evernote to be that reliable, consistent experience. It has been in the past, but in the last couple of years, not so much. I really struggle to open it on my iPhone. There's always crashes, bugs, and it's just a really horrible experience to use. So the really good news is if you're an Evernote user, Evernote have become aware of all of their problems. And when I actually chat with Ian Small, he honestly did have, he was all ears open, and he definitely wanted everyone to be happy in terms of starting small and building out, because I don't think he's the sort of person that will rush in, add a new feature. I think he's someone that will change from the bottom upwards. So Evernote must work on their foundations first, and it's something that I definitely think they are working on hard. So it's going to be exciting 2019 for Evernote either way. Evernote have put out this challenge that I did want to mention that was at the bottom of that blog post. It's called Ever Better Challenge. I think it's a great little initiative. If you're looking for a 30-day challenge for setting a goal in 2019, I can't recommend it enough. They've got a brilliant explainer video on it with Forrest, the guy who runs their podcast, and it's definitely recommended to go and check it out. Also, I'm going to be putting, or I probably already have put out a video on Notion's web clipper. I probably released it today. It's well worth looking at it, and we did a video on this to overview it. Anyway, if you're brand new here, do subscribe for more Evernote related news. If you liked this video, you're a regular, well, hey, welcome back. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed this video today. And do, please, honestly, I love reading the comments. I haven't been that active in them recently, but just pop what you think Evernote is going to be working on, and whether you think this statement restores your trust in Evernote, or, you know what I mean, like restores your trust in their ability to develop the product. Honestly, it'd be great to hear. So guys, thanks very much, and make sure to have a great week. Keep productive. I'll see you guys probably very soon. All right, cheers.